Welcome to our Land Cruiser Troopy that's going to take us over to a dozen countries through Northern, Southern, and Central America. So we kind of want to start a little bit more on the exterior to give you a quick rundown here. This is an ARB bumper. This was done before we got it. I do want to point out that it is paint matched. So whoever had this car before us, big shout out to you, because you obviously loved this Troopy. We can tell from inside, spotless by rust, but you paint matched the bumper to the car. Incredible. We added a couple floodlights. Those can be switched on and off from inside the cab there. This is for our GoPro. Our antenna here, there was an old CB radio. I could not get it to work for the life of me, but I didn't want to take this little guy off. We do have a winch. It came with it. I don't know too much about it. I do know it works. We've used it a few times, but I know this is something that we'll end up upgrading in the future. And as we come along the side here, we can kind of jump into our snorkel is stock. This is the way they come on the Troopies. Our tires here, these are thick boys. If I was to redo it, I think I'd definitely go with a skinnier tire. So this is a KO2, and this is a 12.5 wide tire. It's 15 inches, and I really think we could adjust this to more of a 16-inch and 10-inch width tire, which would really help out on the sand. But I do love how kind of sturdy the truck looks when you have wide tires like this. Moving along on the driver's side, as you can see, these bolts were different. On our first day of driving this vehicle out, as we started our trip, somebody busted our mirror clean off the side here in Vancouver, parked at my sister's place. So we sort of fixed that. But along the side here, we do have the main gas tank into the secondary gas tank. So it does hold quite a lot of fuel, which weighs us down a bit, but we can go, I'll have to do the math on it, but close to 1,000 kilometers with both of our tanks. This is our external plug-in, so we can basically just plug in straight here, and then it charges our house battery, the EcoFlow. It keeps our fridge running, so if we're at a campsite, it's nice to have there. And I think one of my favorite things that we did to this truck is this Maxxtrax table, which a big shout out to Ernesto. He did help us on so many things in this vehicle. This was one of the purchases that I made with him. So our Maxxtrax lock into this, as you can see, we put a little lock on here to make sure nobody can just swipe them off the side. You pull these up, you spin them, and it comes down to a full table. This is where we do all of our cooking. So this has been one of the most helpful things we can add to our vehicle. Since we don't have the ability to really cook inside, this is where I end up doing most of the cooking. And on days when it's raining or it's too sunny and we need a little bit of shade or some protection from the weather, we do have an awning. It's from Ironman 4x4. This actually came from Australia. This was sitting on the vehicle. We do like it. There's actually light built inside of it, which is pretty cool. So once you get it up and going, you can turn on a light. And as much as we've loved this guy and it's protected us from a lot of the weather, I think this will be one of our next upgrades. And we're looking at you, Kamek. We'd love to throw up one of your products on the side of our truck here to test it through all the Americas. And as the Australians say, let's take a look under the bonnet. First thing first though, I know we've gotten a few questions of people wondering whether or not I have to take this on and off, checking out the hood. Right now, the Starlink is working. The cable does run right through the door there. It stays like this while we're driving 24/7. We've got the extra cable wrapped up and strapped inside the door, which I can show in a bit. The idea is we're able to move this if we're parked under shade, and we can kind of put it out on the beach or wherever need be. Now, even with this running, I can actually lift the hood from here, and it'll still work. So what we're looking at here is a 1HZ engine with an H55F transmission. This is straight stock. There's one aftermarket adjustment that was previous to us that we didn't kind of make the decision on, and it is a turbo down here. I don't know much about it. It was installed, like I said, pre-us, and if it was our decision, I don't know if I would do it. We will kind of see how it pans out for us once we get to higher elevations and it's sucking in a little bit more oxygen. That being said, we've done as much work as we possibly can to the engine to make sure that it's maintained. I do baby all the cars that we own, and I've owned too many to share with you guys. But through everything, I could go through the maintenance, but it's the majority of things that you'd want to do, making sure that all the fluids are flushed, all the belts are done, water pumps, the brake booster was done even previous to us. The fuel filters, a lot of the seals have been redone. you can see probably the next roast that's going to pop up in our comments is our electrical. Go ahead, you can roast us. It's not as pretty as I would like it to be, but it gets the job done. When we first received it, there was a lot of wiring that we did have to go through to understand where things were going, right? We're running a dual battery system at the front here, and there was a lot of internal switches and radios, and half the wires weren't even going to anything. So we did our best to clean up what was in there and what wasn't. Added a few things, like we added our, which I can show you in a minute, mirrors and lights, new sound system, and we made it a little bit more streamlined. We did end up upgrading our alternator, which I just remembered right now. I'll have to get the correct voltage on that, but we were running into a power issue with our DC to DC charger, which Bree will talk about in a little bit, but that's what keeps our house battery, that's what they call the inside battery, charged while driving, since we don't have any solar on our roof right now. So we did have to go and upgrade our alternator quite a bit. I think it was almost double the voltage. And then we had to rerun all the wiring. So you can see the wiring comes here to the back from alternator main, and that was all redone. So everything that you see now is maintained to the best of our ability, and we do take it to as many reputable shops as possible to get the work done that we couldn't do on the side of the road. So let's take a look at the inside. After flying down to Houston to pick up our truck from, and I'll tag his Instagram somewhere in here, our really good friend Lukas, it had the original seats in it, and before even checking over anything else, even the electronics or the engine, my ass was hurting after 12 hours driving home. So we went and upgraded to Scheelmans. I'm sure plenty of people have seen these, but these are kind of the cream of the crop seats that you can put in, which I would say is a necessity when we're driving, I don't even know how many hours in total, hundreds and hundreds, right? If we're talking, we're gonna try and do about 40 to 50,000 miles on this trip. Convert that to hours, we needed to upgrade from the original seats, and these have been unbelievable. I couldn't rave higher.
These are the XL seats, right?
Yeah, these are the XL sheets, the Varios, I believe, but we can get the correct name on them. Only thing that we did have trouble with is the actual mounting points and getting the brackets. So I would say if you do go ahead and get these seats, double, triple, quadruple, check the dimensions, check the measurements of your mounting points. There's various models of Land Cruisers. There's completely different mounting points in the same 70 series depending on its import. Whether that was...
It used to have like a bench sort of seat, right?
Yes, it had a bench seat that crossed through the middle. And after we got the Scheelmans done, everyone who knows me knows the next best thing that I do is we upgrade the sound system. So this is a Sony double din. This actually was quite easy. It fit in there super nicely, and that made it so we had Apple and Android CarPlay wirelessly, which is super cool. And I had to upgrade the sound system. The speakers that come in the Troopy are pretty tinny. I'm sure you know they're plenty old, almost 30 years old. So we threw in an 8-inch Alpine sub mounted right here behind my back to make sure I feel every bit of the music while we're driving. From there, we jumped into upgrading the rear view mirror. So you can see right here, I'll even turn it on. This thing is constantly recording. So no matter what, there's a camera actually right here, and it's always recording even when we're parked and through the rear. I would 1000% recommend this. This is through Wolfbox, it was on Amazon. Super easy to install, but it is phenomenal. I now use it in almost every vehicle that we do. I'm sure one of the first things you noticed, or maybe you didn't because the camera's flipped, but I do want to point out the steering wheel is on the opposite side. So this is a right-hand drive. We would have loved to get a left-hand drive. They don't exist in North America. It's just not possible. So like you've seen before, this one's imported from Australia. It did take a bit to get used to because I know we're gonna get comments about that. And it is manual. So I'm using my left hand to shift. The pedals are the same though. So I'm using the same left foot for clutching. As you can see down there, clutch, brake, gas. Super simple. And as Bree would say, one of our guilty pleasures in the vehicle are these actual phone mounts. We got them from Amazon. They're in here through 3M. They move around, and I can tell you, this is one of the best things that we have in our vehicle. So our phones can sit side by side, and it helps with our maps and just keeping our phone up and tidy. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Now, if you know anything about the 70 series trucks, you will know that there is no cup holders anywhere. None. No center consoles. There's no cup holders. And one of the very first upgrades anyone in Australia does is this right here. This thing is a life changer. The doors are so thin, so skinny, that there's no armrest. And when you roll this window up, there's nowhere to put your arm. So we ordered these. Now, I do want to absolutely say big shout out to, crap, what's the name of the super cheap website everyone uses now? Temu.
Temu.
This is a Temu special. My buddy has the actual imported ones from Australia. They're the exact same thing. And these were, I don't even know, $100 maybe? Maybe. And you can buy them online for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So absolutely buy these on Temu.
All right, welcome to the back of the Troopy. So we imported this Troopy from Australia, but then we drove it up from Houston all the way to Canada and imported it into Alberta where we live. So if you guys want to know more about that importing process, let us know. We can make a video on that. But let's open her up. We've got a little drop-down table out here. We don't honestly use it all that often just because we have this awesome Maxxtrax side table that we can get to in a minute, but we decided we're gonna use this space to kind of cover it in patches. Obviously, we have Canada, and this is the highway that goes all the way through Baja, so we have completed that now that we're in Cabo. This one we got at the Land Cruiser Museum in Utah. If you have never been, definitely go check that out. They've got an awesome collection of Land Cruisers throughout the many years. These handles I actually got for Tevin off of a guy off of Etsy. So they are not original, but they say Land Cruiser, they're super cool. We recently got these snap shades to keep us cool. The windows are sort of tinted, but until we get a better tint job, or honestly, these have been so great, just fit right into the window. They have lots of different models, so you kind of gotta make sure you're picking the right ones, but they're gonna fit awesomely in your truck. And here, when we open up the windows, there's no netting. So we're really looking forward to being able to open up the windows, but then put these snap shades in so we still get the breeze and don't have to worry about bugs or anything like that, or Bali jumping out of the window. So moving right along, this is the original license plate from Australia. We thought that was so cool. So I guess it was from Victoria in Australia, which is funny because there's also Victoria in Canada. So Victoria on the move, super cool. We've got our 12 volt fans that we use sometimes for the pop top when it's super toasty. Those have really come in handy. Walmart, guys, like no need to spend a ton. Oh, I guess I forgot this awesome drawer down here. This drawer goes on for ages. So yeah, this is kind of where we keep all of our cooking gear. We don't have a stove like installed, so we just have our portable stove that we usually put on the side table out there and do our chefing up outside. So this drawer is really awesome. It originally came, when we got Bloopy, she was already sort of converted into a livable space, but it wasn't gonna, the way that it was configured wasn't gonna work for what we wanted to use her for. But this drawer is actually, we were able to repurpose it. So this is original. Another thing that was original are these side drawers, or sorry, side like spaces. So we have the Troopy empty right now. We just got back to Cabo and we're doing a full deep clean. So we've kind of emptied everything out, but these spaces, we really use them for like extra supplies on the road. So extra tools, extra parts. You just never know when something's gonna happen. And so we wanna be able to repair ourselves when there's no one else around and be reliant on just ourselves, self-reliant. So that, we've got 2 of those back here. This is normally where our 75-liter Dometic fridge goes. We kind of built a nice spot for it and have it anchored down. It is inside being cleaned. So that's normally where that goes. This tow hold area, the wheel well is down here and also on the other side, obviously. So we kind of built this around the wheel well. So we could put our little toesies in here, and sometimes we put our laptop up on the Dometic so we can be working away if we have to be working inside, which we don't usually do because usually great time outside. But down there, we kind of just keep some extra tools and extra propane canisters for our stove. Moving right along. So from the time that we bought Bloopy, which is our Troopy, our blue Troopy is Bloopy, to when we left Calgary to start our Pan American Highway journey, it was about 8 weeks. So we completely gutted her and, like I said, remodeled it to work for us, to work for 2 people and their cat traveling down through the Americas. So it's honestly not the most perfect job. Like, well, we're so honest about that. We are not carpenters, but we did our best. And we also knew that there are some amazing fabricators that we were gonna meet throughout our journey. And so we fully intend to have this truck totally redone. So we didn't want to waste the time and money putting it into the truck when we were going to be redoing it, you know, within the next year. So keeping that in mind, we have storage cubbies. Usually we put things that we want easily accessible. One thing that Tevin and I have realized after being van lifers for multiple years is we have never been like the kind to unpack everything into our vans or trucks. So we actually keep everything in our duffel bags in terms of like our clothes and stuff. So when I show you guys what it looks like when the truck is fully loaded again, you'll see our duffel bags that we keep our clothes in. So these are kind of like the grab and go items that we need on the road. Down there, we usually keep stuff that we don't need all that often, even though we are in the blazing heat of Mexico and we're trying to stay in the warmer weathers as we continue down. We have our down jackets with us because some of the mountains and just some of the nights in the desert get quite cold. So we keep our sort of winterized stuff down there. Over here, we have a little hidden storage space that we made. This kind of homes all of our electronics. It homes the router for the Starlink, charger for the EcoFlow, which I'll get to in a second. Just a bunch of cables and things that it's easier to just store down here. We also usually carry a big speaker because we are big music people. So we carry a speaker so we can jam wherever we go. This is the mother load. So this is our EcoFlow Delta Pro 2. This is a much bigger battery than we've had in past vans, but this gets it done. So we have it connected to our alternator. So we can set this all through an app to reverse charge. So it charges our battery, our front batteries, but then we can also have the alternator charging this as we are driving. So that's super crucial. Right now, we don't have solar panels on the top of the roof. So this is really important to keep us powered. So now I'm gonna show you where the magic happens, where we get to sleep at night under the stars. So this is a Aurora pop top. When we bought Bloopy, she actually already was converted with this pop top. The only regret that we have about Bloopy is that we cannot store our bedding up here. We carry around two, the company is called Hest, 2 Hest sleep system mattresses. They usually go here. We'll show you once we load up the truck. But that is our only regret about Bloopy, is that we can't just leave our bedding up there, close the top. Other companies like Alucab and stuff, they have more room so that you can keep a little bit of stuff up there. But honestly, that's the only thing we have to complain about with Bloopy. We love her so much. Okay, so I'm gonna pop the top up. So easy as that. And if you come on inside, I'll show you how we make up our bed. So as you can see with the pop top up, we have so much headroom, which is really awesome. Even if we're not sleeping somewhere, if we're gonna be parked somewhere for a little while, busy doing things, we'll just throw the roof up and Tevin can stand fully up. He's 6'3" and I'm obviously not, but it's really great to have this headspace. But the great thing is we can always pull it down and have the versatility of not having a high top. So one of the things we always recommend to people looking into doing van life or truck conversion is maybe look at the pop top options rather than a permanent high roof, so you can really get that versatility. We are able to park in parking garages, and that is so helpful at times. So up here is where we have our bed. So we take these boards, 3 boards, create a nice platform. So we call this the upstairs. It's really great to have a little bit of separation between your living space and sleep space. So that's something that we have loved throughout actually all of the trucks and vans that we've had, is that they're 2 designated spaces. So sometimes I'm up here sleeping, Tevin can be down there hanging out, gaming, whatever, and we can be in 2 separate locations, but still together. So, and Bali can jump up here, which is very important. But yeah, so we just have these 3 platforms. We sort of reinforce this one. This is the one that usually kind of goes under our butt. So nothing wrong with these, but just wanted to make it a little bit stronger. But yeah, so we throw up our 2 Hest sleep system mattresses up here, and it is a very cozy sleep. Then we have the Velcro windows that we can open up, and it's got a nice mesh here, so we don't have to worry about bugs. And then we've got some lights, little reading lights that are dimmable. And yeah, we actually love our bed. Thanks for touring Bloopy. Let's roam.